So this Shabbat is a big deal. It's Parashat Zachor. And Parashat Zachor is the one time of the year when everyone has to be in shul. I mean, obviously, at the moment, it's difficult with COVID, but generally, and even this week as well, certainly my shul, there's extra readings of Zachor because everyone's got to hear it. It's a chiyuv d'oraita. Kriyat Torah normally is obviously got to hear it every week, but it doesn't have a chiyuv of d'oraita. Parashat Zachor does. And you would think, therefore, that if it's something so important that everyone has to hear it, it's going to be so inspiring and so uplifting and like the core of what it is to be a Jew. But then when you read it, you think to yourself, really? Remember what Amalek did to you. When you came out of Egypt, they happened upon you on the way, and they attacked the people at the back, the men, the women and children. It was a horrific attack. That's it. And then it tells us obviously got to wipe out Amalek and so across the heavens. That's it. That's what we've got to bring everyone to shul for. This is the most important laning of the year. Remembering a horrible event. I mean, it's true, yes, we were saved, but it doesn't say, remember you were saved, remember Hashem looked after you. It says, remember what Amalek did to you. That's the ikka of the remembrance. We're not remembering that Moshe held up his hands and we all focused on Shemaim and we were saved. It doesn't talk about that. It just says, remember what Amalek did to you on the way, specifically how they came, attacked you on the way out from Egypt, the women and the children, so on and so forth. It's very strange. It doesn't seem to be something that should be the focus of the most important laning of the year. And of course, one opinion is that the idea actually is to remember the evil. That we have to remember. We have to remember the evil and we have to hate it. Okay? We have to inspire in ourselves hatred for the evil. And again, that's in today's, I guess, PC world, that's not a lovely idea, but it is actually a very powerful idea. The Jews, we are expected to hate evil, to love good, but also to hate evil. But I want to explore another idea on this Zachor from Tzadok HaKohen. I think it's a beautiful idea to understand why actually this really is one of the most fundamental things to remember in Judaism. So first we have to understand, why did Amalek attack? Now you could say, well, why does anyone attack the Jewish people? But this was a specific attack. Why? Because we just come out of Egypt. We just defeated the major global power of the day. We just been taken across the Red Sea. Everyone, was speaking about us. This incredible Jewish nation, protected by Hashem, invincible. Amalek says, not so fast. And they come in their despicable way, attacking the women and children, so on and so forth. Their job was, says Rashi, to be like the person that knows they're going to lose, but has to put the first blow in. They said it's like the person getting into a bath. They may scald themselves, but they make the temperature cooler for everybody else. Amalek had an agenda. And what was their agenda? It was an agenda to say, we disagree fundamentally with your ideology. Let's understand what was that ideology. Because in essence, there used to be just one ideology in the ancient world of many gods, idols, demons, whatever it was. Avram Avinu and the Jewish people then had the second idea. No, one God, monotheism. Amalek have a third one, which is, it's nothing. There are no gods. There's no meaning. You see is what you get. Everything in life is just a coincidence. There's no higher powers, no higher meaning. And in essence, they felt there was a real need to strike a blow against our ideology as soon as we were forming as a nation. And you think about it, 2,000, 3,000 years later, who's won? What ideology is really the superior ideology today? You may say monotheism, look at it, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, it's phenomenal. But actually in the Western world, I would say Amalek is really in the ascendancy. When you think about what's happening, what are people's ideologies in the world? What are many Jewish people's ideologies in this world? They're not God-fearing. They're thinking about, coincidence. That what matters in life is the here and now. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. That's kind of an ideology. That's kind of the way of the world. It's very sad, but it's true. We come to Purim this week. And Purim teaches us, comes at a time when the Jewish people are living in Shushan, And again, depending which opinion you understand, either it was just before they go back to rebuild the second temple, or it's just after that. But it's around the time when the exile from Babel is ending and the return under Persia is beginning. It was a miracle. We returned after 70 years to rebuild the second temple. Now we see ourselves. We have returned to Israel after 2,000 years, not under Persian rule, but under our rule, under the Israeli national state. Miracle. Our survival through Haman's ancestors and descendants for generations to come. We've survived. We've thrived. Miracle. The Jewish people, the state of Israel, miracle after miracle after miracle. And yet for many people, Jewish or non-Jewish, just blind. They don't see it. They don't understand it. So why do we remember? Rav Tzadok says an amazing thing. He said, look at the context. Don't just look at Parashat Amalek. Understand what led to Amalek coming. And that's not in Parashat Kitei section. That's in Parashat Bashalach. Parashat Bashalach is where the story happens. Kitei just reports that story. But Kitei says when it says, so Bashalach is when it says, Vayavo Amalek, V'yarachem im Yisrael b'Refidim, and they fought us in Refidim. But just before that, the paragraph leading into that, what happened to the Jewish people? They'd had a struggle, the Masa and Meriva, and they'd finished the chapter or the paragraph, and it says, "V'anasatam et Hashem lemor," and they tested Hashem, saying, "Hayesh Hashem b'kubeinu imayim." Is Hashem among us or not? There was doubt, doubting themselves, doubting Hashem. That is giving Amalek a door opening. Amalek has the same gematria as Safek. Amalek is that ideology that says to you, are you sure? Do you really think there's a God? Do you really think that all these things happen for a reason? No, there's no reason. Everything just happens. Just go with it. Go with the flow. That's Amalek. Says Rav Tzadok, remember what Amalek did? Because that ideology is there to destroy who we truly need to be. We need to be people who are ma'aminim, believing in Hashem, understanding that everything happens for a reason, understanding there is a purpose to every single person on this planet. Everything is happening in a way to cause Hashem's presence to be exposed to everybody. That is what we believe. Purim, Haman, Amalek, Zachor are the people in history who try and tell the world, no, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that idea. And therefore, we have to remember what brought Amalek to us was our lack of emunah, our lack of understanding what is our ideology. And therefore, Shabbat Zachor and Purim remind us, Lo tishkach, don't forget who you are. Don't forget the ideology you espouse. Don't forget what Torah, what Hashem is. That is why every single person has to hear Zachor. Because in today's day and age, with a Western world that is absolutely focused on hedonism and nihilism to a large extent, we have to remind ourselves who we are, what Am Yisrael is, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu expects us to be. Shabbat Shalom.